Thank you, Gail. And thank you for everybody who's joining us tonight on Facebook Live. This is the 5th and final week of Meet Your Candidate. I'm your host, Ari Garcia. I am a proud mother of 3 boys who are currently driving me crazy. I am the office manager for the Office of Edgar Garcia and a legal assistant working at the law office of Edgar Garcia. I also happen to be married to Edgar Garcia for the past 13 years, and I am his campaign manager as well for the current campaign running for the City of El Centro. So I understand where these ladies come from right now, going through this process of giving back to their communities, trying to serve, and going through this process. I'm nervous talking. I don't know how they're going to do this. I have a degree in biology from UCSB, and when I was younger and I heard our friends talking about their small communities and where they came from, I loved hearing about it, and I was excited to move to Imperial Valley when we started our families. So that's a little bit about me, but tonight's not about me, it's about these ladies and the amazing experience they have and what they're going to tell us about themselves. I wanted to let everybody know that we're following with COVID-19 safety guides. Everybody's wearing masks when we're not talking, and everybody's staying 6 feet away from each other. There's no audience in attendance. Thank you, the Barbara Worth Club, for opening up their venue to us for hosting this event. Thank you, Gil Rebayar, for assisting and for supporting technician working that you're doing behind the scenes. The WASUPWU production for their hard work and for putting this event on. This is a free event to give back to the community. Don't forget to vote on November 3rd. It's very important. Also, don't forget to vote for your local candidates as well as your president. Also, vote for my friend and fellow board member, Helen Diaz-Molina, for Heber Public Utility District and Heber Elementary School District. We have 3 candidates. Let's support our local strong women running for office in this election, women who are here to change the game. With that, I'm going to go ahead and let our moderators introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about themselves. Hopefully they're a little less nervous than I am.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Margaret Sousa, and I'm the Executive Director of Sure Helpline Crisis Center. And I'm glad to be here again today. Somebody skipped, so I'm glad because I got a chance to be here with all of you. I want to take advantage and tell you a little bit about our agency. First of all, I'm proud to say that Nena Molina is one of our board members, and so is Ms. Garcia, Arenzo Garcia. And they've helped me tremendously. They've helped me reconstruct the office, and I'm forever grateful for that. And also, as sitting right next to me is Gina. She's also going to be moderating. Gina is with Women Haven Center for Family Solutions. So I've got a lot of powerful women here, you know, standing beside us, and some powerful women that are running for a position in Imperial County. I'm very proud of that, you know, and I'm very proud of our agency. I learned through the years that we need more women. Now, I'm not against the men. Yeah, they do a good job, but we do need women, and that really fills me with a lot of enthusiasm. And with COVID, with all the things, the problems that are going on, we are blessed that we're able to be here today. I think a lot of us have seen friends, very close friends, family members die because of this epidemic, and we've seen a lot of need. Some of us run agencies where we see a lot of need. We see a lot of people that can't pay their rent. We see a lot of people that can't pay their utilities. So I'm proud to be one of those members that can, when and if I do get some funds, I'm able to help the community. Thank you one more time, myself, for inviting me here. And I also want to thank Renzo for being here tonight, and Mr. Gill. And Gil's my favorite. Gil was in the AAA. No, my kids think it's always the insurance, but no, the area on agency. He came in as a volunteer, and I'm very proud of him, what he has accomplished. And Gil is also running for the board, I believe.
No, I'm on it.
You're not? You know, no, she's on it, but I thought he was running again. Okay, well, let's keep him there, okay? So I will, thank you very much for your time.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Gina Vargas. I am a native of El Centro of Bureau County, and I employed at Woman Haven. It's a center against domestic violence. But apart from that, who am I? I'm a single mother of 2 children that I raised. And with that, I'm really honored to be able to be here today as we're talking about women in politics. You know, it's how do we encourage them? How do we foster that and provide individuals that they would actually be able to know that they can do it, you know, just because maybe there might have been a myth that maybe that it was only, you know, a certain type of job for certain individuals, but it really has, it shouldn't be anything that's discriminated against, it should be there for the taking of anyone. And just as the challenges are for women who are raising their children alone, knowing that it can be done. I really feel strongly and passionate about, you know, women coming forward and going into politics, knowing that, yes, you know, maybe at one time they never told us that we could dream and be it, but the reality is that we can. And so just like, you know, women, that we help each other through our triumphs, and to encourage one another to be able to lift each other, to say, you know what, you can do it, and that, you know, you're courageous, you're smart, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise, and you just go for it, shoot for the stars and just reach it. So I really want to thank for the WASUPWU to be able to put this together, and that it is that they are reaching out to women and to say that, you know, that they can do it, and encourage others that are you know, growing up, that they're listening to this and say, you know what, I could do that too. I could be, you know, the city manager. I could be on the council. You know, I could be on this board, and I could be on that board, and not to limit themselves. So I'm really proud of everyone here, and so I wish everyone the very best forward. Thank you.
I believe I'm going to speak a little bit about why it's so important for women to get involved with politics. Well, there's a lot of reasons, and I think a lot of you know many, many reasons. But in my heart, my reasoning is that I will not allow, I don't think it's fair that men make decisions for a lot of our decisions as women. I think that I want to be able to sit at the table and be part of it, of the decisions that are made. Also, as a grandmother of 20, and a mother of 6 children, and a great grandma of 10, it means a lot to me. I don't know about you, but I worry. I worry. I don't, you know, a lot of things have been done that we really need women to step in. You know, not too long ago, we lost a beautiful woman that meant a lot to me, based on the fact that she opened doors for a lot of us women. I was able to buy a house. I'm able to have credit for a car, and I'm able to do a lot of things because of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And like her, she opened the door for a lot of us. And I admire that woman very much. And I'm going to take advantage to let you know that come October the 17th at 10 in the morning, there will be a memorial at the courthouse steps in El Centro. And it's a memorial. It's not political. It's a memorial, and it's to honor her. And it'll be for about an hour. And I'm looking forward to having some judges, females, to be guest speakers. It's not approved yet, but you know, so far it's looking like we are going to do it. And through the years, and I am going to be 74 years old, that is a long time. And I've seen a lot. I've lived enough to have, remember that there was nobody at the table. And it is important. And that the question is, why should women be in politics? Because that's where they need to be. When I go to my meetings, and I've been in meetings in Sacramento and in Washington, since I started over 10 years ago, it has been a focus. Let's get women in politics. And I wish everybody that's running, especially the women, they get empowered and move on ahead for us. Thank you. And Gina's gonna share a little bit too.
Good evening again, Gina Vargas, just in case you forgot my name or just in case you just tuned in. Gina Vargas, I have a role with Women Haven as the executive director and have been with the agency for many, many years and many, many moons. And I've also belonged to Serapolis International, Bell Central. And I bring that one on board too, because that one also has to do with improving lives of women and girls. And so this event tonight is about women in politics and how, what stands or what does that mean to you? And to me, I think it's great that we have the opportunity to encourage women to take that stand and to take office. It's been a long time coming. We first started with women being able to get the right to vote. And so that's been many moons ago. And so we're here now today. And so now it's like you can run for office, and we should encourage one another to be able to take that stand and to make that difference in our community and in the young women and girls' lives that are around us, that we encourage them to also strive for going forward and not to limit themselves in any way. And just remember whoever your role model was to help you see that you could do it. We're thankful for those individuals that help us get along the way, but just as long as someone inspired you, pay that forward and help someone else to get to that place in their life as well. It's great to be able to empower one another and to see such strong women coming forward. This year, COVID has brought many things, but it's also brought many things within many individuals, a belief that has been a little bit different to say that, yes, I can do it. And just seeing these forums that have come forward, I could see that women are taking that stand, and I'm really thankful that they're coming forward. And so I like to applaud each and every one of you here today for taking that stand and moving forward.
Thank you, Gina. We're going to move forward by presenting the candidates that are running, and we have kind of a little system. Bear with us, And I'm gonna go first, and I have a question. I'm gonna do a question for each one of the three candidates that are here, and after I do that questioning, then Gina's going to go ahead and share a few questions.
Get you an introduction each.
Okay.
What was it?
They're going to do an introduction first.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, bear with us here a little bit. We would like to give each of the candidates 2 minutes each to do an introduction.
Okay, so should I go ahead and get the candidates going?
Yes.
Okay, I am going to start with Helen Diaz-Molina, who is running for HPUD and HESD, and I'll let her tell you what it's all about. Thank you. Go for it, Helen.
Good evening, everyone. Buenas tardes a todos. Thank you for joining us this evening. My name is Helen Diaz-Molina, and I am seeking a seat for the Heber Public Utility District. I am a proud lifelong resident of Heber and attended our local school. My husband and I are proud parents of our 3 children who also attended Heber Elementary School District. We also own a small family business in Heber. As we bring entertainment to the valley, we hosted the annual Tamale Festival for the past 3 years. But unfortunately, the ongoing pandemic has caused us to cancel this year. In addition, we also donate back to our communities, such as nonprofit organizations and our school districts in the valley, including our award-winning Heber Hawks Drumline, and the Southwest High School Band. I plan to restore the connection between the Heber residents and the Heber Public Utility and Heber Elementary School District Board. I believe there should be more effective communication between our boards and the residents of Heber. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Karen. And next, I would like to invite, and the same question, if you want me to repeat it, I will, and if not, you can go with it. Let me know. The next person is Celia Chavez, who is running for Calipatra City Council, and we have an office in Calipat, and I wish you luck. We love a woman over there. Would you like for me to ask you the same question?
Start then. Thank you, Margaret. My name is Sylvia Chavez, and I am running for a seat for Calipatra City Council. Calipatra is my home, and I am a proud Calipatrian. As a profession, I am a businesswoman who has worked in the insurance industry for many years. I'm a 3rd-generation Mexican-American on my mother's side and a 1st-generation Mexican-American on my father's side. My father came into this country under the Bracero program of 1958. He was a great example of a hardworking individual chasing the American dream. It was his perseverance that eventually made him a successful labor contractor and a farmer. His strong work ethics were instilled in my siblings and me. At a young age, my pastime was helping him with filing paperwork, maintaining the office, and processing daily payroll for up to 300 farm workers. And let me remind you, back then the checks were handwritten. I recall a visit with my father into the fields and discovered one of the machines was stopped because they were short a worker. As my father was seeking a solution, I offered mine. I jumped on board the machine to work together with the farm workers to get the work done. He wasn't sold on the idea, but I reiterated to him the fact that the entire crew was at risk of losing their daily wages, and reminded him that the farmer wasn't going to be too happy with us. He finally agreed. It was 8 o'clock at night, and I packed until 6 in the morning. It was an experience that gave me great satisfaction to being part of the solution. But this experience also gave me clarity on the importance of continuing my education. After graduating with a double major in business management and marketing, I accepted a position with the County of San Diego GAIN program. I was hired to help pioneer the program. The program was successful and was used as a model to implement throughout the state of California. Shortly after, I was given the opportunity to cross over into the private sector in the insurance field, handling claims in the Republic of Mexico. After stepping out of the box, I was able to establish my own business as a binational insurance claim consultant, which I still run and operate today. I am running for a seat because to me it is important to contribute to decisions being made in my community. I am well aware of the work that needs to be done, but I know that I can contribute in a positive way in our community. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Santillan. And I will repeat the question, Katie, if you don't mind. The question is this: please state your name, your position, and what you're running for, and your involvement in civic matters, and how you plan to bring change to the community if you're elected.
They're going to do their introduction. You have 2 minutes for your introduction. You're in your introduction first.
Okay.
I vote.
My name is Katie Santillan. Good evening. My name is Katie Alcantara Santillan. I am running for re-election for Pioneers Memorial Healthcare District Board of Directors. I am a Valleyite, born to Gregorio and Catalina Alcantara, both foreigners. My father, Gregorio, came from the Philippines. My mother came from Mexico. My siblings and I are the first generation here in the United States. I have 2 brothers, Raymond and Gregorio. Both my parents were farm workers, and actually that became our living. We all were farm workers. And it started actually, we went through the grape season, starting in June all the way to November. And we would follow the grapes to the Coachella, Kern County, Fresno, and back to Delano. We had the privilege of actually meeting Cesar Chavez, and I went to school with his kids and his brother Manuel Chavez. So we established a good residence there in Delano, and we went to school there for a while. And we had, not only did we work in the grapes, but we also worked in the onions, tomatoes, and anything that we could during the weekend, because that's how we were able to make ends meet. But when I was in my last year in senior, 4 years prior to that, I met my husband, Paul Santillan. We've been together for over 50 years. December, we're going to have 51. I was still in high school when we got married. We have 3 children. We have Eric, Marcy, and Paul Marcos, and his lovely wife, Alexandria. We also have 8 grandchildren and 1 great-grandchild. And so, 50 years we celebrated last year. It was a blessing for us. And my husband, like they always say, the saying has been, a woman has the woman has always stand behind a man. Well, in this case, it's been both ways that the man has stand behind the woman. We started our business back in 1983, and he has always supported me. It was hard, and we struggled, and we provide services for the developmental disabled throughout the state of California. We also had a home health agency, which gave me a lot of information going under Title 22, which governs the hospitals, clinics, and home health agencies. And in working in Title 17, that gives me also working with the developmental disabled. Our company has grown throughout the state of California, and we service 13 counties right now. And we work with the regional centers. And it's been a privilege just having to work with them, because that has given me a lot of knowledge, having to be on the board. Because when I first went on the board, I remember that people were saying, she's a new kid in the block. And they just didn't realize that I had that information of Title 22. And I was the youngest one. But not only that, I just let you know that I was born to a Filipino father and a Mexican. So I was mestiza. Did I ended up being discriminated? Definitely. I was a minority within a minority at that time. And I have to say, having been brought up by a poor family, I knew the value of a half a penny. Because when we worked in the raisin, that's how much we were getting paid. Half a penny for a tray. And a tray is where you put in, you spread out the grapes, and at the end, and it's about, probably about half. So you spend the time actually kneeling down. Either you kneel down, you're on the wooden frame, or otherwise you get to kneel down on the sand, and it's really, really hot. So I learned the value about it. Our family used to make maybe $20 a week, a day, maybe. What was it, 12 hours that we used to work. So that brought me the value and brought me the good ethical morals and values that my parents brought us. So when we started the business, to me, I always cared that even if we provided a service free for the ones that could not afford it, especially the elderly, but that was our home health, then that grew my passion that, you know what, it's not always about money. It's about giving back. Because in return, that's going to make you happy, and that's going to make you the person that you are. And I've done that for the longest, and that's what was taught to me. My husband and I, we dove in less than 20 years ago, and we helped the Dollar Ride in Brawley. They were going to close down, and we took it over 14 years. We lost money, but I was not there for the money, because I do not forget that when we lived on the poor side of town, as people say it, either we walked or we came in a taxi when we could afford it. So a passion and knowledge makes me aware of what we need here in this community. And I'm an advocate for the poor and for the needy. Thank you.
Alcantara Santillán. And I guess we're gonna move forward. And now I jumped the gun, you guys, right now. I'm always doing that, okay? You know, I'm supposed to do introduction, and all of a sudden I'm already, you know, jumping the gun on some other questions. But we're gonna start with Nena Molina, Helen, but I call her Nena de Cariño, Nena Diaz Molina. And the question is, what I'm gonna ask you, Nena, and I'm gonna ask everybody else, so please pay attention. I will be more than happy to repeat the question, but the question is this. Please state your name, the position you are running for, your involvement in civic matters, and how you plan to bring a change to our community if you're elected.
I am presently active in the Heber Community Advisory Committee, the Measure A Oversight Parent Committee, El Toro Heber Scholarship Review Committee, and I am a board member for the Sure Helpline Crisis Center. I take pride in listening and working firmly with the Heber residents, who are my family, friends, neighbors, and our seniors. As an appointed community advisor, I have been involved in community outreach with our residents to receive input for their needs and to keep them informed of available services. The love I have for my Heber community motivates me to want the best for my town. As the only female running for this seat, I feel I can bring a different perspective to the board. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nena. I was at the Tamale Festival. It was wonderful. Even though one time it rained and it was windy, but nobody can beat the tamales. It was fantastic. I have never in Heber seen something grow so big. And I was honored to be part of that tamale festival. The part that I was honored to do is I ate the tamales, okay? There was nothing else that I did, but I ate the tamales and they were excellent. Actually, I got to taste 14 tamales, can you believe that? But I only took a little bite, I took them all home. And then there was a lot of them left, so I took it to the homeless. I did my good deed for that day. So I'm gonna move forward with Sylvia Chavez, and I'm gonna ask you the same question, Sylvia. Would you like for me to repeat it, or?
No, that's fine, Margaret. Thank you. Again, good evening, everyone. My name is Sylvia Chavez, and I am running for a seat for Calpetra City Council. I am an advocate for special education. Within Calpetra, I am currently active in the School Site Council, U.S. Census, Lions Club, Chamber of Commerce, Community Beautification Program, and Meals to Heal. Meals to Heal is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to help keep our COVID families nourished and at home recovering by providing dinner meals 7 days a week. I hope I have demonstrated to you these past years with my involvement how much I care for my community. In terms of bringing change to the community, my plan is to first address the coronavirus disease. We will not be able to move forward until the stop of spread it is done in our community. We can do that by educating, increasing awareness, and collaborating with experts to expand testing, tracing, and treatment. As a Calipatrian, our water rates are high for our underserved community. I will help create a plan to address this issue. I will improve infrastructure, support local businesses, and provide better housing opportunities. My objective is to assist in developing the rural community to its greatest potential with major improvement in our roads, parks, and market the city's community development block grant program to assist Calapatrians with low interest loans, to qualify homeowners and first-time home buyer programs. Homeless is another of great concerns. I will take action by collaborating with outside agencies to include substance abuse and mental health issues, not just housing. Our young Calapatrians need options. I will collaborate with our school on higher education, military service, and the workforce. Together we can address and create solutions by forming a city advisory committee that will act as advisory to the city council. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the next person that's going to share is Katie Alcantara Santillán. So, would you like the question, Katie, or will you?
I'm fine.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Salsa. I'm Katie Alcantara Santillán, and I'm running for re-election for Pioneers Memorial Hospital Board of Directors. My passion is to help and care about what's going on in the community. I am involved in several committees, but right now I'm just going to focus because of the COVID, and I limit myself because I know, and I have to be realistic, that I can only limit myself to do so much at this point right now. And I was very proud that Father Ed and a couple of the other fathers had me join the Finance Committee for St. Margaret Mary's. I'm also on the advisory committee for the San Diego Regional Center, who provides the services for the developmental disabled. I'm also in some other state committees. But right now, our biggest deal is not just the hospital that we have, but actually the community together. I was part of 3 of the committee last year to get back to St. Margaret Mary's because our church burned down. So Francisco Hernandez, Jaime Servin, and myself were instrumental of getting, and we set timelines that we were going to get back. And we did. We said we're going to get back in October. And we were back in October, back to our church. And we're very proud of it. And we had a good turnout by the community that came in and helped. After that, well, we all know what happened. Months later, we end up with a COVID. If re-elected, I'd like to continue with what we have. Of the 24 years that I've served, I've seen a big expansion with the hospital. We also have to be realistic. Do we have the funding for things? Are the sources going to be there? So we have expanded. We have at least 15 specialists that we've had within the 24 years. And that tells you something. And you know, you also have to realize that we have limitations when we're on the board. Remember, you're only 1 vote. So if you have 5 or 6 on the board, well, if they agree with you, then you'll probably get past what you have asked for, but it doesn't happen all the time. So that you know, you're always going to disagree. That's fine. So the changes that I can make right now, we have future plans of what we planning to do on the expansion, but all of us ended up in a problem right now, a huge problem. And that challenge is, how do we work with COVID? And one of the things that our hospital did is that we made sure that we all jumped into getting the PPPs, which is your mask, which is your gloves, sanitizers. We did that, and we were able. We were short at times. I know that our company donated for the masks there. We had a lot of the community that came in and helped and donated food for our first responders. And one of the things that I do tell everybody is that please, please, follow the rules, because what happens is that you're getting our first responders sick, and even to the point that they're going to die. I just talked to some of our registered nurses, and some of them have been out for 3 weeks. We've been short, so what we did is that we turned around and we hired a registry, which cost us over $1 million, and we lost money. But at that point, what do we care for? We care for your lives, and that's what we care for. And that's what we have done, and we're going to continue to do what needs to be done. set aside what we have planned to a certain extent. We're not putting it on hold, but at the same time that we are thinking, what can we do with the COVID? One of the things that it did bring was a big challenge to us is that we can't do elective surgeries. Meaning, say, for instance, if somebody needs a gallbladder taken out, well, guess what happens? If it's not an emergency and it didn't rupture, you're just gonna have to wait in line until the governor says, okay, you can open up and you can have surgeries. Right now, all the doctors that do surgeries, they're way, way behind in their surgeries. And some of them have to be referred out of the county. But guess what? You go to another county, they're in the same boat that you are right now. So what I like to do is continue for what the current board members are doing right now. Having changes right now, it's not a good idea. We have to make sure that our resources right now are going to take us to January. What other stimulus bills are going to come in to help us? At this point, we don't know. We do have enough money to carry us to the first of the year. What's going to happen? And it's not just us, it's all hospitals. As a matter of fact, when the COVID hit, there was quite a few hospitals that ended up closing. We don't want that. We only have 2 hospitals here. And other than that, if we don't have them, then you have to go over the hill. So we want to continue with what we have. And one of it is going to be your cath lab, that if you have any heart problems, they can actually do it here. There's certain things that we can end up doing here instead of you going over the hill. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, we are going on to the next question. And the first question will be for Helen Diaz Molina, who is running for the HBUD district. And the question is, what is the most significant professional setback you have faced? How did you recover from it? And what did you learn from it?
So the most significant professional setback would be, I don't think it's only for me, but for everybody, would be COVID-19. COVID-19 is a pandemic that was unforeseen, and we weren't prepared for it. It has impacted the lives of our neighbors, our children, the school system, our employment, and overall, our well-being. I myself, as a small business owner, have been affected immensely as we are no longer operating for the time being. Our business, WASUPWU Productions, contributed to the community, aiding to the valley. But for the pandemic, we are closed and cannot get back. For example, this event that we are on right now, we are giving back by providing information to our voters. And by having all these amazing ladies to be here to tell everyone about their experience and qualifications. This is going to be a lasting impact on the school, on our school district and our Heber Public Utility. It is going to take time and hard work for us to recover from its effects, but we are learning from it every day. I know there are shortage budgets and personnel, I know there are going to be shortage budgets and personnel for both school district and Heber Public Utility. As a board member of Sure Helpline Crisis Center, I have overseen budgets, and I bring that experience with me to the school district and Heber Public Utility. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. The same question will go to Sylvia Chavez. What is the most significant professional setback you have faced? How did you recover from it? And what did you learn from it?
Thank you, Gina. In September of 1999, I interviewed for an opportunity as a subcontractor for an international insurance company. At the conclusion of the interview, they informed me that I had been highly recommended, but frankly, the company was not ready to have a ocha mujer do a man's job. It didn't make me go away. I know from shared information that other subrogation recovery specialists, all men, had been offered extended contracts with attractive hiring rates. In December of 1999, I was offered a contract for 1 year with lower adjusted rates. I accepted the challenge. I quickly learned that there was an unwritten set of rules and skills I needed to master if I was to survive in this male-dominated world. First and foremost, I needed to learn the culture and have them remove the pocha mujer label. And then I needed to find my voice because men often dominate the conversation. My solution was to gain more airtime in my job performance. It took time and effort, but I did it. In December of 2000, I was recognized for being the top international financial recovery specialist for the company. I went on and negotiated an extended contract and was able to adjust my service rates to what was comparable to the excellence of service that they were receiving. Today, I continue to provide services and have smashed through the glass ceiling and paved the way for other women in Mexico. This experience has taught me the value of rolling up my sleeves and working hard to get results. Thank you.
The next candidate will be Kathy Alcantara Santillan from Pioneers Memorial Healthcare District. What is the most significant professional setback you've had faced? How did you recover from it? And what did you learn from it?
My biggest setback at that time, my biggest setback, and is not anymore, was when we first started our business. Not only did racism came in, but when we went over to the bank, nobody would touch us. First of all, we had no collateral, we had no history of credit. So our finances were being made by my mother, my brothers, and us with my husband. And we financed our house for about 5 or 6 times each one. And we were able to do what we built at this point. And we were able to bring our business all the way to the state of California. And so that was really hard. You're talking 35 years of night and day, working on the weekends, not really spending time with my children at that time. Actually, my husband had to stay with him or my mother would babysit. I would be in San Diego. I leave at 5 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I would return for 3 days or 4 days, and they would come in and they would help. And that was my biggest support. Now, when we would go to the bank, I was asked, are you Filipino or are you Mexican? And my response was, what difference does it make? You know, I'm asking for a loan. That's all I'm asking. And we're very credible individuals that we will pay it back. But when you don't have anything to prove what you have, okay, where did you start your office? Well, in my bedroom. I had a desk there. I moved to San Diego, started the other business, expanded it to there. We got an apartment and we started off at the bedroom. That gave me an insight. Where did I want to locate our office? Where were we going to get our workers? Where were we going to get our clients? So I had to kind of center around that, do the strategy, and kind of just look at what we did. After that, a couple of years, I moved down to the Riverside, San Bernardino area, and we started another business there. That was a little bit easier for me to a certain extent, but it was still very hard. Years later, we ended up going to the Oakland area, Vallejo, and we started other offices there. So the hardest thing was having to be looked at, being down, and some people that had more money than you didn't really care for you and were wondering, what were you doing there? Why were you amongst them eating at the same restaurant? And to me, it was like, you know, we're all human. Lately, as I started running for it, after 35 years of work, we finally built our building, and I'm so proud of it. We have close to a 50,000 square foot building right across from Walmart. And we're very proud. But guess what I hear now? What did Katie do to get that building? And did she steal secrets from the hospital? What did she do? And I'm like, that never fades away. We've had a couple of our friends that built their house on the west side, and they were asked by some individuals, how did you come over here to the west side? How did you get your money to build your house over there? And my friend says, you know what, Katie, what I did is I pulled my wallet and I told that person, here, my wallet, that money came out of my wallet. You know, you see this and you think that we've left that behind. Well, it isn't, and it hasn't. So my family values that our parents taught was to make us strong, be ethical about everything, and don't give up. Don't be afraid. Don't fall down and stay there. You get up, stop crying. Crying's not going to get you anywhere. Get up and just do it. And that's what we've done all this time. And you know what? When my husband married me, he says, you know what? I like that mestiza in you. And I was so proud. No one's ever told me that. And he always fought for me. And I liked it. I remember when my mother married my dad, they would always tell my mother, or the friends, they would say, la señora la que está casada con un Filipino. And I was like, my dad has a name. Call him by his name, you know? And that would irritate me. But I realized as I got older that people were not very familiar and probably arrogant about that. Now I bring it up and people are realizing, because some of them were our very good friends, I have to say that. But I have to say that a lot of discriminatory came with a lot of our Mexican friends and people that were there. But times have changed. That has changed to a certain extent. But still, we have that out there. And I would like to see it change. Is it going to be in our time? I don't think so. Is it going to change down the road? Yes. But recovery here, remember, never, ever give up. No matter where you came from, no matter what you do, be proud of yourselves. And just keep on trucking, like my kids say. Just do it. And don't be afraid what comes towards you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Katie, Cynthia. And so,
I think, yeah, we're going to go ahead with the last question for the candidates. And I am going to start with Alan Diaz Molina. And the question is this: in what way does your leadership style make you the best candidate? And provide an example, please, of how you intend to apply it in the community that you are seeking to be elected.
I plan to serve my community with honesty and integrity. It is the love of my neighbors that has given me the motivation to be part of our democratic process. My example is my involvement with committees and boards that I'm involved with, such as the Heber Community Advisory Committee, the Measure A Oversight Parent Committee, El Toro Heber Scholarship Parent Committee, and I am a board member of Sure Helpline Crisis Center. The residents of Heber come to me and rely on me to provide them with accurate information to what is happening in our community. I love my town, and I think that when you love something as much as I do, you'll fight for what you think is right for them, for our residents. And with this said, there's many things that I would like to bring, and right now, but I will hold my visions that I have for now. I just want to be part of something great and just work for my community. That's what I want. And that's why I'm seeking a seat for the HPUD. Thank you.
thank you, Helen. The next question, this same question will now go for Sylvia Chavez, who's running for Calapat City Council. Sylvia, if you'll please share with us, in what way does your leadership style make you the best candidate and provide one example of how you applied it in the community where you are seeking to be elected.
Yes, thank you. I am a passionate, inclusive, and collaborative servant leader who will always put the needs of others ahead of my own. I embrace a culture of collaboration, diversity, and will partner with other organizations and people with similar values. For example, I reached out to an attorney for the California Rural Legal Assistance, a nonprofit legal service program created to help California's low-income individuals and communities because I saw a need in our community. Parents of children with special needs were lost in navigating the legal rights in education of their child. And so we developed workshops in informing parents of their children's educational rights and IEPs, the individualized education programs, which describes the goals and supports our children's needs. I recognized a problem in my community and I decided to take action. I reached out to other organizations to better coordinate our solutions. And through my initiative, parents are now better informed about the children's educational rights and special support. It is important to build community spirit and increase awareness. I will take initiative and collaborate with others to find the best possible solution. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And the same question is gonna be for Katie Alcantara Santillán.
Okay. Let me go quick. Sorry.
Thank you, Gil. Being in the seat and being reelected is very important to me. I'm caring, transparent, but I'm also dedicated. And I am the voice for those that don't have a voice. And when I say that, I mean what I just said. There's people that come to the hospital and get treatments, but they don't know what they're getting and they don't know any better. They figured, well, I go to the hospital because they're going to give me help. But do they all get the same treatment? Sometimes, sometimes not. And we want to make sure that everything's fair for them at that point, that we turn around and we give everything. So one of the things that I like to bring to you and what made me actually go to run for this position, years back, and I held it for the longest time. In 1975, our daughter Sonia, our second born, was killed in a hit and run by an alcoholic. We did take her to the hospital, and could they have done something for her to survive? Afterwards, that she passed away, I did learn. I had a nurse that told me, go sit down over there. There's nothing wrong with your daughter. And I said, look, she got hit. When the car hit her, she was up in the air for about 35 feet before she landed on the ground. It was a street. So I heard her telling Dr. Dorr, because I was working at the clinic there, and she said, Dr. Dorr, you don't have to come. It's not an emergency. How would you like to hear that you have a registered nurse telling that to the doctor 3 times? And I stood there and I bit my tongue because I said, if I distract her, she's not going to tend my daughter. So they took her in. They knew that her lung had collapsed because it was punctured by one of her ribs. So then afterwards, they put her in the emergency room outside the door. She was in the hallway for an hour and a half. My husband and I were there. And we kind of knew that there was a problem because she kept shaking. And we knew she wanted to go to the restroom to urinate, but she couldn't. We weren't all that knowledgeable. I was 24. How many of us experience emergencies like that? Things we don't. And that's why I say about the voice. Long story short, she bled to death. Once she was brought in, she was out there for an hour and a half, and they brought her in. And I finally, when I saw her just kind of moving, I said, do you have to go to the bathroom? She said, yes. She wasn't crying, she wasn't yelling, and neither was I, because I did not want to distract the doctors there or the nurses. Finally, I said, look, if you have to go, Sonia, go. She was only 4 years old. And she says, Mom, I can't. And I said, why not? She said, because my uncle and Tia Rosa gave me this dress for Christmas. So she was all there. And at that moment, I said, go, we'll just buy you a new dress. She got up. It just seems like they turned the water faucet on and you can see all that blood just coming in. At that time, the nurse came over to me and yelled and said, "Get out of here." And I said, "No, you take care of her. I'm not going to leave." Then again, it kicked in, "Katie, leave, because the distraction's on you and they're not attending my daughter." It took like less than 10 minutes when we were told that she had passed away. So I always keep that in the back of my head because sometimes they misdiagnose. And I'm not blaming all the doctors. It does happen. You know, and up to now, I always think, where's that doctor? Did he ever have a feeling regarding that? He was a new resident out of San Diego. I saw the autopsy. I started going to learn more about that. And I had a friend who was an attorney from San Francisco. And he said, "Katie, you need to sue the hospital." And I said, "No, because it's not going to bring my daughter back." "No, you need it for other things." And I didn't think, what other things is he talking about? And our son ended up being an alcoholic. Our daughter was 4 and my son was 5.5. I didn't realize how traumatized he was going to be. Thank God now he's better. But that is always in the back of my head. You know, is everybody being treated equally? And I have people from the hospital tell me things. I have patients that will come and talk to me. That is one of my biggest things that I want to have to be a continuance, to get the best care that you can have right there. Right now, yes, there is a challenge on the COVID, but this is going to be a challenge throughout the whole world. And you have to listen, abide with what you're being told. Keep your mask on, use your PPPs, wash your hands. Don't go without a mask. I see some of my friends that said, "Hey, Katie, we were out there and we didn't have a mask on." Well, you know what? If you don't wear your mask and you get sick, don't go to the hospital. Why are you jeopardizing their lives because you want to be without a mask? I'd rather be 6 feet up and breathe than 6 feet under where you can't breathe. Thank you.
Well, we've come to pretty much the end of it, but it's not yet, because you still will be able to do some closing statement. Each of you will have 2 minutes to do a closing statement to sum up what you're running for. And so we're going to go with Helen Diaz Molina. Let's go.
First of all, I would like to thank the audience and everyone here tonight. To the candidates, hearing your inspiring stories, to the moderators, for your words of wisdom regarding the importance of women in politics. Thank you. On November 3rd, please consider me as the voice for Heber. I am also the only female candidate running for this seat. Change is especially needed in our community, in both positions of Heber Public Utility District and the Heber Elementary School District. I just want to let you know that I am a hands-on person. And if there's a task, any task that needs to be resolved, I'll find the means. For HPUD, I plan to go to the IID board, reach out to the IID board and the county board to find the resources we need to bring up-to-date information and accessibility to all the residents and continue the beautification of our parks. For the Heber Elementary School District, I plan to find easier methods to make the transitions from school to online learning easier for both students and parents by making sure students have access to advanced technology and new programs. Also looking at providing online tutoring for students. November 3rd, please vote. You have the power to vote and to make a difference in your community. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Nena. And let me tell you, she will get it done. And I vouch for Nena because she's done a tremendous job helping us at Sherhoff Crisis Center. The next question, the closing statement for the next person is going to be Silvia Chavez, who is running for the Calipatria City Council. And
Please go ahead, Sylvia, and share with us a closing statement.
Yes, I would like to thank all these strong and courageous women that are here with me tonight. We're all here for a common goal, to make a difference in our communities. To my Calipatrians, as a parent, homeowner, and business owner, I share many of the same concerns. If elected as your city councilwoman, I will take action to stop the spread of coronavirus in our community by educating, increasing awareness, and collaborating with experts to expand testing, tracing, and treatment. As a Calipatria resident, I have great concerns about our water rates. I will help create a solid plan to address this concern. I will collaborate with outside agencies on the growing concern of homelessness, including substance abuse and mental health issues, not just housing. We need to give them resources. I will help bring affordable homeowner programs that can help and work for our neighborhood. I will support our local small businesses. Successful small businesses create jobs for the community. I will collaborate with our schools on higher education, military services, and workforce. I will protect our quality of life by fixing our infrastructure and fund park and recreation programs for our children. I will take action to support our disadvantaged, elderly, and disabled community by collaborating with other agencies to bring in a resource center. Your city council does not have all the answers, but together we can create solutions. I will take action to form a city advisory committee that will act as an advisory to the city council. For 20 years as a businesswoman, and my experience with community organizations have prepared me to find solutions and to be your voice at City Hall. I am committed and dedicated to work hard and be a strong advocate for us Calipatrians. I will ensure we are heard and represented. It would be an honor to earn your voice. Vote Sylvia Chavez, please, on November 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. Now, the next person that will go with their closing statement would be Katie Alcatraz Santillan from Pioneer Memorial Healthcare District.
Thank you very much for the introduction, and thank you again, everyone who's been here. You have very powerful, intelligent women trying to do the best that they can and to help the community, which I applaud, that we're all part of it. And everybody who's here to came and help to put all of this together is a lot of work, but you're dedicated enough to dedicate to your community. Thank you again. I, Katie, will be transparent, dedicated, and having the experience, hospital experience, makes a big difference and qualifies for me to stay on the board. And hopefully you think the same way too. Having to be on the board will also give me the time to be able to make sure that we do have all our PPEs, because it really, there is a shortage out there. We have to make sure that we clean our hospital like it's supposed to. I get complaints at times that they say, Katie, they don't even clean the showers, there's air in the bottom. You know, let me know, and I do call our CEO on it, and he takes care of it. So far, he's been very good, and I say so far, because that's what I know at this point, and I give him credit where credit is due. The expansions, we're gonna have to continue them, but at a very slow rate, because we wanna make sure, like I had stated earlier before, we have funds to carry us up to probably about January at this point. The CARES Act, that'll end, and that will go for all the cities. And so we have to think about that. Now, is the other one gonna come into play? The other CARES, is that gonna come into play? We don't know. You know that the Republicans and Democrats are fighting over that right now. What are we gonna have? We don't know. But for sure, I will do what I can to keep our hospital alive. Our hospital is gonna celebrate its 7th anniversary within the next couple of weeks, and we'd like to keep it open. We'd like to keep it open for everyone within the community and outside the community. Remember, we only have 2 hospitals. Having to be involved in the hospitals for the last 24 years and actually being that only mestiza there that I was first elected, it makes me proud for what I have done at this point and for the people given me and empowered me to be there. And I was involved in opening the rural health clinics because they came to me. I was knowledgeable about it. I worked at the Clinic as a Salud, and that gave me how to work with home health agency how to deal with the feds when they came in to do the inspection and how to respond to them. So they always can do, Katie, can you come and help me? Sure. When we opened, I have to tell you this, and it's not a joke, but it's kind of semi-funny, that back in 1998, we opened the Women's Center. And Dale Yarnell, one of the engineering supervisors, came to me and he said, Katie, we have a big problem. And I said, what happened? He says, we're not going to open the Women's Center for New Year's like it's scheduled. We already arranged flyers for now. We can't because Oshkosh hasn't come. He says, can you please call? And he asked me that in one of the board meetings. So I said, let's talk about it afterwards. So when we talked about it, I said, look, let's call the guy's going to be there on Monday and I'll pay a surprise visit. Let's not say, let's not begin a schedule, an appointment or anything. Let's just call and I will go. So my husband and I, we went over there and we went to West Covina. When I introduced myself to the inspector, he turned around and says, didn't you guys understand? I told you I was not going to go because first of all, I have a skeleton crew here. Look what I have here. So then after a while, after I introduced myself, I kind of started joking around with him for about 10 minutes. And at one point, I must have said something funny that he just burst out laughing. And at the end of our meeting, he says, I'll go visit you guys. I'll do the inspection. And by the way, he says, I'm going to Arizona, so on my way back, I'll stop. He stopped. He was there for 10 minutes. By the time I left my office and went over there, it was done. We were able to open. So I'm one that you can rely on. And thank God that I'm knowledgeable on Title 22 and Title 17. That gives me the knowledge to know what I have to do and use my experience for that. Otherwise, we would have not done it. And there's other stories that I can tell you where I was called. Remember, I'm only the board member, but I do know. So please vote. Vote for who you think is best. But I think all these young ladies have made a very well presentation. But don't forget to vote. That is your voice and that is your power. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, all of you. This was great. This was fantastic. So we're gonna end this program. And I want to take advantage for my 1 little minute that I have. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here, and I wish all of you luck. And all of you are working very hard to get elected, and I kind of have a feeling you're all going to get in. And I'd like to take advantage right now and to thank Arenzo for hosting, and also Gil Rebollar. And I had to be funny and ask Gil what was his last name and who his mother was. And I know it's Juanita, and he said Rebollar. I said, I know. I had to do that. But I do want to thank Mr. Mejorado because he has loaned us the place where this has been held. And I can still smell the steak, you guys, so I'm not going home. I'm going to go outside. They have a patio outside, and I know they have good steaks, so I'm going to stay and eat. Anybody's welcome to go. And last but not least, WASUPWU. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Nena and Güero. I call him Güero. And for doing this, you know, you're doing a lot for the community. You do a lot, but this is more than I would have ever dreamed. So thank you very much, and I'll let Gina say goodbye and good night.
Thank you, Margaret. It's always nice to be able to sit here with you. It's great. I love her energy. But I really wanted to thank you guys for inviting me to take part of this evening. I believe we have 3 special ladies here at the table, and you know, with Helen Diaz, who's running for the HBUD, and we have Katie Santillan, who's running for the Pioneers Memorial Hospital District. Sorry if I chop it up. And we have Sylvia, who's running for Calapat City Council. And I can see the one common denominator is that you guys love your community, and that you love people, and that you have a big heart to make change. And so I really wish you guys the best of luck. And for those newbies coming to the table for the very first time, you know, I applaud you for taking those steps up, forward and, you know, going for your dreams. And, you know, I know that Katie has been with the Pioneers Memorial Hospital, and so she's been there, and so that shares something about her experience and what she has to bring to the table and what we have to learn from that. So I do want to thank Juan Molina for being able to bring me here and invite me to come here tonight and putting this together, because I can see that one, he believes in his wifey, Helen Diaz Molina, and that that they both support each other. You can tell when they're together that they support one another, and so I think it's great what he's doing. That he's bringing this forward, and that he's doing a name changer that is changing who we are. 2020 has changed our lives forever, and this is another change that's going to change our lives forever. I see all the strong women coming up in politics. This has not been the first phase of it, but just all of them. And I was just like, wow, as you look around, there's just so many women going and taking that leap to say, you know what, I'm in, I'm going to do this. This is my year to make change. And 2020 has it's had its downfalls, but it's also had its things to make us discover ourselves and to find a power within ourselves that maybe we didn't know we had before. And so once again, thank everybody for being here tonight, and thank you for inviting me.
And what are we gonna do November the 3rd?
We're gonna vote.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, okay. So I want to thank all our candidates, Helen Diaz Molina, excuse me, Katie Alcantara Santillan, and Sylvia Chavez for being here tonight. You ladies are incredible. Your stories are amazing. They're inspiring to young girls in Imperial Valley. It shows them that there is no glass ceiling, that if society or anyone tries to set a glass ceiling for you based on your socioeconomic background, your race, ethnicity, your gender, you shatter that glass and you rise above it, and you let them know that they cannot underestimate you. The other thing I wanted to say is that a lot of people don't realize how much effort goes into a campaign. You ladies are here today in addition to having families, having children, having careers and jobs and running businesses, and you're doing this out of love for your community, to give back to your community, to serve the residents, and it's just an incredible amount of work that you're doing and amount of time that you're putting into and dedication that you're giving this task. Speaking of strong women, I want to thank both our mediators. My God, these ladies are amazing. Both of them work very, very hard to advocate for families, individuals, victims. Some of the stories that you hear are terribly sad and difficult to bear, and you guys keep going forward, helping, giving back to your community, and it's just incredible. I want to stress, voting is important. As Katie said, if you do not speak up, you are not heard. You need to say you need to say something. If you don't, that's a sure way not to be heard, actually. Local elections are the most important elections, in my opinion, because they determine the leaders for our future, the leaders that choose whether we have parks, what our utility prices are going to be, whether we have services at our hospitals, whether our police stations are funded. These are all the things, whether our roads are paved and we can drive and not fall into a pothole. These are all things that immediately impact our lives. And a lot of people don't realize that these leaders, these local leaders, are the ones that make these decisions for us. They're in our judicial system, they're in our law enforcement, they're in our cities, they're in our hospital boards. And I encourage everybody to go out and vote November the 3rd, because it is the most important thing that you can do. Thank you.
We got, now I usually end it right there, but this is a final one, so I'm gonna add on to that. So thank you to What's Up With You Productions for putting this on. And also to our host, Ari, as a mother of 3 in the time of COVID, not only protecting your children, but distance learning. We have a 8-year-old and I couldn't imagine doing that times 3. So, that's what you're going through right now is also to be commended. And so thank you for being here tonight. And I'm sure it was kind of a relief, right, to get out. So thank you though. And also to all the women here tonight. Sylvia, you have a vision you're ready to go, and your history, your actions have shown that, very similar to Katie. I don't know where to start. Whether mestizo, castizo, cholo, brown is beautiful and capable. You've shown that with your actions. I worked at a young age, nothing to compare the field. My nana did marry, and what that instilled in her, that work ethic, and continued to instill that in her family, and helping make it easier for us to continue the momentum, the building blocks, that base you've built for future generations, not just within your own family, but those outside, seeing you, witnessing you, hearing you. I'm kind of speechless. Your story is amazing, and thank you for everything that you do. Helen, you got it. Just let it out. So no, you got it. I always tell you, get engaged in the community. It doesn't mean politics. Actually, that should be the last thing, because it's the way it is, especially right now. But with your community events, right, kind of gave you that itch to continue more. So getting involved, I think you've shown, doesn't mean, having to run for something. It means, hey, I want to put on an event to bring the community together, to provide some entertainment, provide some hope, provide some inspiration. And it's led you to where you're at now, on the cusp of this election, of being the only woman in your race and being ready to lead. And so best of luck to you as well. And our moderators, Margaret, 5 years ago, I was a volunteer. I was hand delivering her agendas. I was going out to deliver her agenda. Now I sit on an elected school board because of what I learned from her and all the seniors that I was able to serve at the Area Agency on Aging, and also the women that led the Area Agency on Aging, from Norma Sycon to Rosie Blankenship, to members such as yourself on the advisory council. Gina Vargas, being an executive director of a nonprofit that serves women, serves the community, is also to be commended. Katie, you brought up one thing. You said times have changed, and it's because of all of you here. Like I said, times have changed, and it's because of work that each of you have all put in to make your community and thus this world a better place. So thank you. Thank you to Barbara Worth. Let's all go outside. Let's all get some fresh air, and thank you all, and best of luck on all your campaigns.